Now I will show you some examples. As our first example, let's consider this. Negative 185 is congruent to what? That's a question mark there. Mod 28. And the answer must be one of these numbers. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, or 27. Oops, 27. Okay, so now we're going to figure this out. All right, now let me show you how I did this. I will show you exactly how I did this. All right, so on my calculator, I did the division, 185 over 28. And this is accurate to 3 decimal places. This is 6.607. Okay, what this means is that when you do the math, 185 divided by 28, it goes in 6 times, and we have some remainder r. Okay, now remember what this means. This means that 185 is equal to 6 times 28. Let's do it 28 by times 6, so it looks like the division algorithm. 28 times 6 plus some remainder r. Now I got to figure out what that r is. Well, now I can solve for it. Okay, look how I can solve for it. 185 minus 28 times 6 equals r. And doing that math, I get that the remainder is 17. Okay, so what this tells me is that 185 is equal to 28 times 6 plus 17. Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying, well, we want to deal with negative 185. Well, how would you make 185 negative? You'd multiply it by a negative, right? Well, you do to one side, you got to do the other. So what this tells me is that negative 185 is equal to negative 28 times 6 plus 17. So negative 185 is equal to negative 28 times 6 minus 17. And since we're working with positive mod 28, positive 28 there, I'm going to move this negative with the 6. So I'm going to write this as negative 185 equals 28 times negative 6 minus 17. Okay, and so now, let's see, we have, so negative 185, which is equal to 28 times negative 6 minus 17. This is congruent to negative 17 mod 28. Because think about this number here. If you divide something that is really a multiple of 28 by 28, you're not going to have a remainder of anything other than 0. Okay, so that's why we get that, negative 17. All right, so now that I know that negative 185 is congruent to negative 17 mod 28, now I can figure out what negative 17 is mod 28, and that'll be my answer. And I want to remember, I want to have a positive number or 0 in the range 0 to 27. Because those are really the only numbers mod 28. All right, so how do we figure this out? Now remember, we could do this cyclical kind of thing where we draw like a circle with the numbers, or remembering that it is cyclical, you could just write out all the numbers. So let me do that. So you got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27. All right, so I'll write over these in red. So this is -1 is 27, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8, -9, -10, -11, -12, -13, -14, -15, -16, and -17. All right, so that's where, so that tells me that -17 is congruent. So that tells me that -17 is congruent to 11 mod 28. Now, maybe you're not entirely sure that you did this correct. Well, we have a way to check this, right? We can check this by saying that, checking to see if -17 minus 11 over 28 equals some integer. And in fact, if you do this math, let's see, -17 minus 28, I think that is 28, right? So it's -28, I mean. Let's see, -17 minus 11 over 28. Let's see, that would be -17 plus 11 over 28. Let's see, that's 17, 11, that's an 8 and a 2. Okay, so that is -28 over 28, which is -1, which is in fact an integer. So now we know that's correct. So now we can just say 11 mod 28. So now we know the answer is 11. That's how I would approach this. All right, let's do another one. Here, let's do a slightly tougher one. Let's say -1021 is congruent to what mod 28? Okay, so first thing, I look on my calculator and I say, okay, I do a 1021 divided by 28. That is accurate to 3 decimal places. That is 36.464. 464. This part doesn't even matter. That's just the change, you know. What's extra? How the extra that. Anyway, so that tells me that 1021 is equal to 28 times 36 plus some remainder. We can solve for the remainder. 1021 minus 28 times 36 is our remainder. So our remainder, we do the math there, 1021 minus 28 times 36 is 13. 13. Okay, and so now we know that, let's see, what do we know? The remainder is 13. That, oh, right, that 13 just goes right there. Right, so you have 1021 equals 28 times 36 plus 13. If we make it negative, so because we have a negative 1021 there, we got negative 1021 equals negative 28 times 36 minus 13. Don't forget to distribute, right? To get that. And negative 1021 equals 28 times negative 36 minus 13. So that tells us that negative 1021 is congruent to negative 13 mod 28. Now what's negative 13? Well, I guess we'll write them out again, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Let's do it in blue this time. Okay, so this is negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, negative 8, negative 9, negative 10, negative 11, negative 12, negative 13. Aha! So what I have right here, what this tells me over here is that negative 13 is congruent to 15 mod 28. Maybe you're not entirely sure, so you can do the math. Negative 13 minus 15 over 28. You'll see that's negative 28 over 28, so that's negative 1, which is an integer. So that means you did this correct. So now putting that and that together, we get that negative 1021 is congruent to negative 13, which is congruent to 15 mod 28. So our answer is 15. I'll move this over a little bit, make it look a little nicer. Mod 28. And that's it.